How are you today? My name is Shannon and this is my YouTube channel, Whiskey and Wool. This is my Knitter's Life series, season 5 for 2025. I am coming to you from northern New Jersey where I work and live and craft. And I live actually right across the river, right across the Hudson River from New York City. And I am trying to get one of my projects to the end of the row so that I can show it to you easily. So this is a bit of a stall. Not really though. And I should say I'm on Bluesky. I love Bluesky. It is, especially these days with all the ever-changing, quick, fast-paced changes that are happening in the news and stuff. Bluesky puts everything in chronological order, so you're not getting when I go onto Instagram, I could see posts that are 5 or even a week, 7 days old. That's too old for what's going on. So Bluesky puts everything chronological, so every time I open it, I'm seeing the latest posts from people that I follow. And you can also set up tabs, so you can do a tab of people that you follow that are just talk about knitting, or a tab that just talk about spinning, or whatever your hobby is, or whatever little thing you want to watch or you want to follow. You can group together those people, and that's all you will see when you hit that tab. You won't see a barrage of a mishmash of all of your hobbies all together, or all of your interests all together. So you can separate out, I have one that's just a news feed, news of the day kind of stuff, or people, journalists and people that post there. But if I don't feel like seeing what's happening right now, I can just go right over to my knitting tab. It's really, really cool. I love it. And I don't think I've seen any ads, so I'm sure it'll change and there'll be ads at some point, but for now it's really been very enjoyable. It reminds me of how Instagram used to be 10 years ago, before algorithms got in the way of our enjoyment of it. So yeah, it's really cool. I love it. I recommend going. Find me over there. I'm Whiskey and Wool over there. I put it all my socials are down in the description box, as well as I put them on screen at the beginning. So anyway, I am wearing an oldie but goodie. This is the Daily Pullover by Paula Pereira that I knit out of Lobby and Aimée Helix, a strand of Helix and a strand of Kumo held double in the colorway Wisteria. I'm actually using this color in the project that I'm going to show you. I had leftovers from it, and yeah, it's a real cozy, throw it on, bang around in it, do whatever, easy to wear piece. I have knit the Daily Pullover by Paula. It's a pattern you can find on Pearl Soho's webpage, but you can also, if you just do a Ravelry search, you'll find it. I've knit 3, maybe 4 of them. Oh, I think I've knit 4 of them. Yeah, I knit 4. I knit this version. I knit one out of what the yarn that it was called for, which was the Linen Quill. I no longer have that one because it really just not that it fell apart, but it just looks so shabby. That Linen Quill should not be used for garments, I don't think, because it is just a shawl, I guess, would be fine, but as a sweater it just looks so crappy. I look like a homeless person. Not that there's anything wrong with being homeless, but I just look like I didn't care about my appearance, because it was just the pilling and stuff that was coming off of it, and even if I had to shave it routinely, and it just got to be exhausting to take care of, so I let it go, gave it to somebody else so that they could experience the joy of a hand knit. Anyway, okay, I finished that. Yeah, so I made one out of superwash, and I made one out of linen, 100% linen fabric, or yarn, which I really, really love that one too. That's a great one for the lighter, sunnier months of the year. Warmer is what I'm trying to say, not lighter, warmer months of the year. I thought I would share with you my progress, my knitting progress, my finished objects, and my works in progress, and some spinning, and I might have a poll for you to do. But I wanted to start with the hat I finished. I finished the Manhattan hat by Tori Yu out of this beautiful hand spun. I'm going to just unfold it so you can see the repeat of the yarn. It is a hand spun by me from fiber that I bought at Vogue Knitting Live. That was from Wing and a Prayer Farm. It's a Valais Blacknose-Shetland blend in shades of indigo. So the bat was laid out very similarly to how you're seeing the stripes. I just ended up with a little bit of marling between the colors. I made a 2-ply yarn, and I ended up with 2 skeins, and this was one. So my plan was, or had been, I'm sure I still will do that, is to use the second skein. This was one full skein with, I had a little dab left. But my plan was to make mitts to match. So I'm not getting on that right away because it's warmer now. The weather is warmer now. But I'm really happy with the way this hat came out. I think it's super wearable, and yeah, goes with everything. These shades of blue. I love wearing indigo. I meant to tell you, I'm going to talk about what Martha's wearing in a minute, but I have got my first free, like fully free weekend in about 8 weeks because I was teaching a very intense 7.5-week session where my students were doing twice as much work per week, and it just really generates a lot of grading for me. So I'm finally done. My grades are in for that class, and now I have like an 8-week break before I teach again. So it really feels good to get that burden off my shoulders. Very excited about that. Okay, let's talk about what Martha's wearing. This is the project that's probably closest, the project that's next closest to being done. This is a sweater by Lene, Holme, Samsoe. She is, I don't know who she is. You probably know more than I do about her. I haven't really looked into who she is. But the sweater is called Inge Sweater Solo. I think she's Swedish, maybe. She's Scandinavian. I'm not sure which. Maybe she's Danish. I'm not sure. But yeah, many people have made this sweater. I think the sweater came out in November of last year, maybe a little earlier. And I've seen like several patterns. It's really beautiful. I'm so happy with the way the colors are going. So let me tell you about the yarn. This is a natural chocolate brown by Renninger Wool Company. That's the base. It's a Better Together from 2024. Natural colored 3-ply DK weight merino. These are the sheep that are the providers of the wool. It's really gorgeous yarn. So soft, and yeah, lovely. While I was in the midst of when I was making that, I made a 100% cashmere cowl that I finished. You probably saw it in my last episode. I actually think this is softer than the cashmere. It's really, really soft. And the colors that I have there are by Jill Draper. It's her Windam base. Similar put up. That is Echeveria is the blue-green, and that's very accurate what you're seeing on screen, not what you're seeing in the sweater, because in the sweater it looks kind of gray, but this is the color. It looks gray because of the lighting. It's because this Martha is further away from the studio lights that I'm using. And sorry if you're seeing the studio lights right over my shoulder here. It's really dark today because I think we're getting a storm. So I just positioned the lights in the way that lit me and Martha up best. And so that means that if I move my head too much or if I bend, you're going to see the lights. So I hope it's not too blinding. This is the red. It's like an orangey red rusty color, and the colorway name is Carnelian. So really, really enjoying this knit. It's a super easy to memorize color work. And yeah, I was so happy to get to the bottom. She has you do, and maybe I'll do a little film clip of this, because she has you do a unique style of bind off. You do an Italian sewn bind off, which is become my favorite bind off to do. But it's a variation where it almost ends up being like a tubular bind off, but you're not putting things on two needles. So I don't really like tubular because it's really fussy, but this version was really good. I really do enjoy doing the Italian sewn bind off. So I'll have to keep that trick in mind. I'm curious to see how it will end up when I block it, because it's a little slanted, like the rib is kind of angling a little bit, ever so slightly, and I'm curious if they will line up or if they'll get more emphasized in a slant. I hope not more emphasized, but you never know. You never know what's gonna happen. All right, just having a little water. All right, my other work in progress, I've made some steady progress on the Awesomer Gossamer by Stephen West. It's a shawl pattern that is, you start with this garter stitch section on top, and then you do this textured bubble stitch, I think is what he calls it, or maybe that's what it's called, I'm not sure. It is designed to be made out of fuzzy yarn, and I think he actually makes it out of mohair silk, but when the pattern was coming out and he was doing a knit along, he was planning a knit along, I realized that I probably had all the yarn I needed, pretty much all the yarn I needed to get this pattern done. And so I dug out my fluffy yarns. They are a mixture of brushed cashmere and Surrey silk lace. And laid them out, and I found that I was only missing maybe one of the 8 colors that you're meant to have. And the way that he has you knit with these yarns, you are marling together 2 colors. So even though I have 8 colors each time, it's not solid one, it's 2 marled together. So you kind of get this nice blending effect, I think. Really, really like the way it's coming out. I don't really know if it's me, if it's my style. It's going to be really warm though, because it's pretty thick. I have a feeling out of mohair it wouldn't be so thick. I just turn it around so you can get a closer look. I ended up going up a needle, which I never go up needles. I always go down a needle to hit gauge. And although I seem to have gotten gauge with the right needle size, I just thought the fabric needed to be a little bit lighter weight, a little bit more easy breezy. You can see, like, I'm on what he calls the medium bubble section. So there's a small bubble section here, it's complete, and now I'm like a little more than halfway on the medium bubble section. I was contemplating ending it after that and doing the border, because there is a third large bubble section and then you do a border, because I thought it might be big enough, but I don't think the wingspan is going to be long enough to put around my shoulders or even around my neck. And that I've had some short wingspan shawls that I really don't like. I just don't wear them. They end up being like pieces that my cats adopt and lay on. Oh wait, I'm dropping some stitches. There we go. It's really a fun knit, like in terms of like it's been my constant companion while I've been grading papers, because it's pretty mindless aside from, you know, every I guess it depends on which size bubble you're making, but every like 6th or 8th or probably 10th row for the large ones, you're paying attention, but otherwise it's just stockinette with increases at the beginning and end of the round. So it's pretty easy, pretty nice. It's been great to knit on when I'm watching a program that I really want to pay attention to, something with subtitles or stuff like that. It's been really, really nice for that. I used all yarn that I had aside from one color, and I'll go through them quickly. So I had a lot of brushed cashmere. I had these 3 colors of brushed cashmere left over. All the yarn I'm using is left over except for one. So these 3 were leftovers from a sweater that I made a couple years ago. These are from Moondrake. I don't think she makes these colors anymore. She changes her colors every few months. So, but if she does, this is quartz, this is electric lilac, and this is electric berry. I have more. This is the only one I don't have more of. Another reason to maybe make the shawl a little smaller, but so far it's pretty good. I probably have like 3 more rows to do with this color, then it goes away until the large bubbles. So I might not have enough of this to do the border, but I figure I would just wing it. And I also had a couple Surrey silk from Aimée. Is that what these are? Yes. So this is Flouro Morganite, this is Wisteria, this is the color left over from the sweater that I'm wearing. And I had a Surrey silk from Lemon Kid, this is Pop Rocks. And the last one I had is I have 2. This dusty pink is some Italian brushed cashmere that I bought in Italy in 2019. It is this brand. And then this is yarn that I bought at Vogue, and it's an interesting blend. It's by a maker in, let me just see if I can find the tag. Here it is. It's by a maker from Peru, Kinua. The colorway is pink lemonade, and the yarn is called the Fuzzy. The blend is a alpaca mohair silk, so it's unique, right? Usually you get alpaca, or you get Surrey alpaca, or you get mohair. You don't get both in the same skein. It's really, really soft. She said to me, oh, it'll be as soft as cashmere, and I thought, that's great because I'm knitting it with cashmere. It is pretty soft. It could be the oils maybe in this, but it feels softer, a little bit fuzzier, I'd say, than the brushed cashmere. So yeah, those are my yarns, and I do have, as I said, I have a second skein of pretty much everything in the bag with the exception of this one. And do I have a second? Yes, I have a second Pop Rocks. So that was a happy find to be able to just go in my stash and take yarns out. I am working on trying to make my stash smaller, so anytime I can pull from my stash to make something, I'm quite happy to use it up. And that was another reason why I was a little bit hesitant to make the shawl smaller, because I was like, well, then I won't use everything up. But if I make it big, I'm gonna really be playing yarn chicken. But I think I'd rather play yarn chicken than have extra yarn, like a skein of each of those colors in my stash still. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and make it big. I might actually, what I was considering was maybe doing, instead of doing even larger bubbles, maybe making the medium bubbles again. I don't think it would really be noticeable if I do that, except if those who have made it. Okay, I have a new cast on. It's not a big deal. I am gonna do the cast on with me series, so I'll talk to you about that in a second. So I cast on a sock because when I finished the hat, which was my small travel project, I wanted another small travel project. So I'm doing the DRK Everyday Sock Modified, or Bear Paw Modified. It's a DK weight sock, but I knit it in a tighter, with a smaller needle to get a tighter gauge because I just like the way they feel and fit my foot better. I had modified the DRK Everyday Sock to be a DK weight sock in all the sizes that my family wears before she came out with Bear Paw. And then when she came out with Bear Paw, I saw that she didn't use the same size needle I did, and I tried it, but I just didn't like it. I ended up frogging that project and re-knitting using the smaller needles. So this gorgeous rainbow stripe is from Mustache Yarns. Do I have the tag? I do. Yay. Mustache Yarns. They are, I believe they're a business in Dallas. I know they're in Texas. But that's the tag. One of the few indie dyers who does self-striping yarn. The colorway is called Kama, and it's a superwash nylon merino blend. 310 yards, which is more than enough for socks from that to fit me. These are my size. Me and all the adult women in my family wear the same size shoe, so which is really convenient. So I can make. We all wear size 8 or 8.5 in that range. So I can make this size sock and give it to any one of them or keep them myself. So I don't really know what I'm going to do with this yet. I'll probably look in my sock drawer and see if I have room. And if I don't, it'll go aside for as a gift for one of my lovely daughter-in-laws or my one son's partner. They're not married. The one is not. The others are. But yeah, you can see that I'm on the yellow, I'm on some yellow, and then there's some other colors. I was gonna say this, I was looking at her website because she was promoting a St. Patty's Day color, which is really cool. It's like this bright lime green with rainbow stripes in it, very pretty. And this colorway, she still runs it. It's her oldest running color. She's been running it since 2016, and it's called Kama. Which I don't know what that means. I don't know what the meaning is of that for the company. But anyway, yeah, this is how far I am. And I should say too, you get 2 split skeins. They're coiled up like one skein when you purchase it, like the way a skein looks, and then when you unwind it, and it's in 2 separate parts, so you get 2 matching balls of yarn to do your socks. And this would be plenty. One of my sons wears size 13 shoes. This would be plenty to make that size as well. I would get a pretty generous leg width for him. Maybe I should have made these for him. Might have been a good. I have one or two more skeins from Mustache in my stash. All right, those are my knitting projects. I'm gonna talk spinning, and then I'm gonna talk about what will I make next. I want your help. I've been spinning away on this sweaters quantity. You're not seeing the color well. I'm gonna put a picture. I do have a good picture of it. It's showing up more blue on screen than it is in life. Like even this close, it's still coming up. Turquoise just never shows up well on screen. So unless in editing it looks good, I'll just put a picture on. I probably already did. Anyway, I have a total of 3 skeins. The third skein is a work in progress right now. I'm plying it on my wheel. I'll probably finish it tomorrow and I'll have it done. So I'm calling it done for the sake of the video. And yeah, it's beautiful. It's from Yarn Jam, the company Yarn Jam, and in the colorway Glacier Bay. I did a 3-ply. Let me see if I can get a nice close shot so you can see the ply. There you go. I love 3-plies. They just make beautiful round yarns. I don't enjoy making them that much, but I really love knitting it. So it's the same, like I would really love to just knit worsted weight sweaters, but I don't enjoy wearing worsted weight sweaters generally. I only want a couple in my wardrobe. I don't need a dozen or more. Fingering weight I get a lot more use out of because I can wear them longer. I can wear them year round pretty much because we have AC here, air conditioning here. The summers in New York City area are very, very humid and hot, so AC is on pretty strong most everywhere you go, whether you go to a restaurant or a movie theater or a museum or someone else's house. The AC is usually on pretty strongly, so having a lightweight sweater is really convenient, and fingering weight ticks that box, especially a superwash fingering weight. So yeah, I tend to knit fingering or sport weight, occasionally DK like this one is. But like even this one, I know it's already getting too warm for me to wear this, I think, for this winter. I think maybe we'll get a couple more cold snaps, but will I be done with it? Maybe I could wear it as an outer garment. We'll see. So anyway, same with 3-ply. I would much rather do a 2-ply because it's faster, but 3-ply just makes a much more beautiful yarn, and I enjoy knitting with it, so I make myself do the 3-plies and put it together. And you can chain ply and get a 3-ply too, but I don't really enjoy chain plying. My favorite part of the spinning process is making the singles, and then plying is a little more boring to me, but I really love the meditative process of just drafting and spinning the single plies. That would have been what I did if we lived in the olden days and I worked in a spinning mill. I would have been the drafter person doing the singles. Is that common? Does everyone like that part better? I don't even know. I don't know many in-life spinners. I got some new stash. It's not yarn. I was thinking earlier today, I don't think I've gotten any yarn this year aside from the floof that I showed you from Vogue. And I bought white yarn at Vogue, which is part of my what should I cast on next conundrum. I bought more fleece from Melly. She had a sale. I was just so enamored by, so I bought white. This is a Columbia Yak blend. She calls the blend Halo. It's 100 gram batt, which I'll make into a 3-ply. You can always use white. White is probably my most used color just because it seems like as soon as I have white in my stash, it's getting knit into something. So I had my eye on something else that was a little more colorful, and I just wasn't quick fingers enough on it. So this is what I got. Not mad about it at all. So yeah, I have plenty of fiber too, so I don't really want to, I've really whittled down my fiber, made a bunch of yarn that I'm going to destash this summer. So more about that when it gets close. If you're interested in purchasing any, I will of course give you first shot at it because you're my viewers. All right. So I have a little conundrum about what to cast on next. I'm sure left to my own devices I would figure it out, but I thought it might be fun to do a little poll. So I put a poll up on my YouTube channel, and I think it's linked here. I've never done it before, but I read about how to do it, and it looked pretty easy. So I'm going to link it here if at all possible. If not, it'll be down in the description box, and you can also find it on my community page. So my question is, I have 3 different possibilities. I have this gorgeous handspun that I made last summer during Tour de Fleece. Tour de Fleece is a spinner's marathon, a 3-week-long spinner's marathon. This will self-stripe. I have a sweater's quantity of this, so I could cast this on. I'm not going to tell you the projects because I'll tell you about that in my cast on with me. I could cast on this. I have pretty much figured out I need to swatch. I need to swatch with this too. I haven't swatched yet to make sure that pattern will work. I need to swatch, but I think this would end up being like a textured knit pullover, like either a v-neck or crew neck. I think a v-neck. I think a crew neck. Something real simple, so that the beautiful color can shine. These are actually very similar. If you notice a pattern, turquoise is my favorite color. So I like to wear it. I like it around. My third potential, which is probably not going to get cast on until this is done because it's color work, is this color work that I talked about last time. So I could cast this on. This I already swatched. This is more Jill Draper, and the cream is the yarn that I bought at Vogue. So yeah, I'm gonna put those in a poll. It'll be self-striping, solid turquoise, or color work plaid, sweater. Which one do you like? I think I'll be casting that on this week, so I'm gonna give it a few days for folks to reply to the poll and let me know. We'll see. And then I'll do a little episode about cast on with me and take you through my process. I know that not everyone loves those cast on with me's, but some people do. So it's fine. If you don't love it, don't watch it. It's okay. It's all good. It's not required. So do what you need to do, whatever you like. If you enjoy it, if you've never seen one, check it out. But I tend to do like a deep dive into my process. Like, how did I make the decision? How did I choose that pattern? How did I put the pattern? How did I pick the pattern based on the yarn? In this particular case, there's not a lot of color going on, but if there's any color choices going on, I walk you through that process too, and how I came to the conclusion of using the particular colors that I chose. So it could be really informative, like especially if you're someone who waffles a bit on those things, on matching pattern with yarn choice, or vice versa, yarn choice with pattern, and falling in love with yarn, trying to figure out which pattern. It could help you with your own process. So that's the idea behind it. And then I spend a little time knitting. So there'll be like some quiet time stretches of about a minute or two where I'm just knitting and you're knitting too. We're knitting together, and then I'm sharing, stuff about whatever is on my mind, life or whatever. I promise, no politics, so don't worry about that. Don't have time for that. And then the other thing I wanted to just update you on, because I talked about this in January and I don't really have anything to share other than to say that things are cooking behind the scenes with my kitchen renovation. I had designs made by a big box store, and then I met my contractor, my general contractor, and he had a different designer he thought I should use to just get like a better design. And they are actually cabinet makers, but they do the design process too, to make sure that, because that's what really determines the design of your kitchen, is the cabinets. So like the layout and stuff. Because appliances are pretty standard sized, at least here in the US. So that part is easy once you get the layout of the cabinets. So I am currently waiting for the designer that he paired me with, the cabinet maker, to come back to me with designs. So we're doing a little back and forth right now. My apartment is small, so it's an apartment kitchen. The kitchen is 10 by 8, which is pretty good for a city apartment. I live in an old building. It was built in the 1920s. And I think that room that is the kitchen may have been a bedroom at some point, or it might have been a stairwell. I'm not really sure. I'm on the top floor of the building, and there is an elevator, but there might have been like a stairwell for the staff. I'm not really sure. But at some point, it got changed into a kitchen, and it is a kitchen in the 1930s would have been quite different, or 1940s would have been quite different from a kitchen today. So there's this awkwardly placed window, awkwardly positioned window, and that's the part that the designer is stumbling over, like what to do about this weird window. It's in a corner, which is a weird placement for a window, which is why I think it may have been the room might have been a stairwell. And my apartment's in the back of the building, so that would be another reason why it might be a stairwell for staff. It was a Ritz-Carlton, my hotel, or my apartment. It was a Ritz-Carlton hotel originally. So hence my thought process over, like, maybe that was a stairwell originally. I do have a big box out in my apartment that is an old dumbwaiter. It's no longer functioning. They took all the gears out. And I really want my contractor to change it into cupboards, into a cabinet. But he's a little dubious. Understandably so. He's a little nervous about it. So that might be something that happens later. But it doesn't have to be done with the kitchen renovation. So anyway, I'm waiting for her to figure out the window scenario. I don't know. She has this idea of putting in a low-built cabinet in that corner, and because the windows come down pretty low, and I really want a bench. I want like a window seat so that there's somewhere for me to sit when I'm eating, or if I'm waiting for something, 5 or 10 minutes in the oven. Yes, I could go to my living room, but sometimes I just want to take a break, sit down in my kitchen and, hang out in there and have a cup of coffee and a piece of toast in the morning without having to go out to my living room. So, yeah, so we're going back and forth on that. We'll see. She told me that the design that she got from the big box store lacked any oomph, lacked a wow factor. So I just told her to do whatever she thinks and show it to me and let me see if I like it better. I liked the design from the big box store. I thought it was fine. And it had a lot of variability in terms of like what you could do with the cabinets. But the layout, I thought the layout was really good. It was a good compromise with working with that weird window placement and getting me a place to sit in there in the kitchen. Because that's the biggest challenge with that kitchen. It's got the space, but the position of the window really kind of screws things up. Because it's too low. She wanted to raise it. She asked me if we could raise it, and I said we can't do anything that changes the outside of the building. So that's where I'm at. Anyway, when I get something concrete, perhaps next time I'll have something concrete where I could share the designs, show them to you. That would be fun, and give you a little more info on some of the features, because I really have no idea even what the cabinets will look like. Nothing has been shared with me because we're trying to nail down the placement first. But her assistant came and did the measurements and stuff, and he talked to me a little bit about it, so I have a little bit of an idea. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's an experience that I just want to be at the end of and have a new kitchen already. It's hard to, I'm really nervous about living through the construction of it. And I hope it's fast because I don't want to move out. I do think I'm going to have to move out for a short period of time when they do the demo and stuff, but just because of the cats. If I didn't have the cats, I probably wouldn't even think twice about it. But I don't think I can keep them here while the demo's happening, but maybe. It's big enough. They could be in my bedroom, I guess, for a few hours if need be. Anyway, exciting stuff. Oh, and somebody asked me last last episode, if I was going to Yarn Centric. I am. We bought tickets already, so we're going to go to Yarn Centric. We bought in the 2 to 4 p.m. window because that gives us time to get down to Maryland Sheep and Wool. It's my first time going. I'm very excited to be going with a bunch of friends, and I'll see you next time. Hope you're well. Hope everything's going well for you. Take care.